Right, now, this week it was revealed that former Prime Minister Boris Johnson had what they called a manly pep talk with Prince Harry in an attempt to persuade the Duke to stay in the UK.
Now, look here.
Well, if you remember, actually, John Major got involved in the Prince and Princess of Wales's divorce.
Did? I'd forgotten about that.
Years and years ago.
Wow, that
So
was...
maybe this is something the royal family do if it's a really difficult situation.
Well, he wasn't the man to talk about...
Minister.
He wasn't the man to tell Charles about having an affair, was he?
No, he really wasn't.
So it turned out. Anyway, Mr Johnson was asked by Downing Street and Buckingham Palace officials to step in, as we were saying.
Now, as Harry is due to visit the UK tomorrow, should we consider, as if it's our thought at all, to welcome back the Sussexes with open arms?
Don't really know how we conflate the two issues. Anyway, let's talk to former Royal Gardener Jack Stooks and Royal Commentator Richard Fitzwilliams. Morning to you both.
Morning.
Richard, what do you think? Do we need to forgive and forget?
Well, firstly, I mean, they don't want to come back, and at the moment, absolutely not. I mean, you're dealing with an institution that's serious if they actually came back. I mean, in some hypothetical form, you'd have a circus. Every single royal event that was that involved the Sussexes, you'd have the focus on them and so forth. It would, in reality, be completely impractical if you consider that in the past 4 years they've conducted a guerrilla war against the royal family. They've done enormous damage to it, and indeed, if you look at the 18 to 24-year-old group, which is disenchanted with the institution, but where they do have support, it's the only, if you look at the polls, this is the only place the Sussexes actually have support. This is one of the results of the Oprah interview, the 6-hour Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary where they had talking heads rubbishing the Commonwealth, Spare and those ill-advised interviews around it, and also let's ask a question too. When did the Sussexes last say something that was favourable about the royal family? I can't think. Indeed, in theory, they want an apology for the way that Harry believes Meghan was badly treated when they were senior working royals. So, I mean, the answer's absolutely no. You could say it 3 times and imitate Margaret Thatcher if you like, but, I mean, there's no way they are going to come back. They don't want to. They're happy in California, supposedly. And most certainly, they're the issue of trust. Who would trust them? No.
OK, Jack, I know that over the many years you worked for Prince Charles, you got to know both of the boys very well. And you're a bit fed up with the negative way that certainly we now in the media in Britain talk about Harry.
Yes, I think this is the problem. I mean, you've heard Richard saying, no, don't have them back. But what have they actually done that's been so awful that Britain can't let them come and go as they please? They've not actually done anything illegal. They've not done any sort of, they haven't bombed anybody. They've done nothing wrong. All they've done is be themselves. So Harry chose to marry Meghan. You know, everybody has an opinion, and completely everybody's entitled to that opinion, like them or loathe them. That's the opinion that people have. But they haven't been given a ban on not coming back to England. So if they want to come back to England, let them come back to England. If they don't want to come back to England, again, they don't need to. It is their lives, and that's what Harry was banging on about at the time. He just wanted to have his life. The royal family haven't said anything supposedly positive about about Harry. Likewise, why would they need to say anything positive the other way around? They're living their lives. They talk privately, presumably, to each other. And, if Harry is coming back and wants to see his family, why shouldn't he be allowed to?
No, they don't, I'm afraid. The rift is so bad that there's a lot of speculation. We don't know whether they talk privately to each other. How would we? But there most certainly is not a conversation at the moment publicly between William and Harry. This was obvious at Lord Fellowes' memorial service. They were both at the back of the church, apparently, and reportedly didn't say a word to each other.
Reportedly, you don't know what they're doing or saying.
Well, I am saying that we're talking about, this is a debate about renegotiating Megxit, and if that was the case, in fact, what was arranged at the Sandringham Agreement would have to be looked at again, and that would mean that Sussexes would have their cake and eat it, so to speak, because they could do the commercial along with royal activities, and to have them at royal events, as I say. I mean, you would have an undignified circus, you would have a weird situation. And this is something that Meghan would want. She was desperately unhappy, unfortunately, when they were doing royal events and they were here. So Harry can come and go as he wants, fair enough. His relationship with the rest of the royal family, I mean, there's a deep rift, we know. We also know, and we all are aware, that King Charles and, of course, the Princess of Wales are fighting cancer. It's a dreadfully difficult time for the royal family. So let us hope that it could be some form of reconciliation. But we're not talking about renegotiating Megxit. I mean, that's just bizarre.
No, we're talking about allowing them to come and go as they please, which is
suggesting that they can come and go as they please. It's a question, however, of whether or not they would want to do royal duties, and they wanted it half in, half out. You can't renegotiate that because that isn't being royal. The royal family is a serious institution. It's pivotal to our unwritten constitution. It's a symbol of national unity. This would be ridiculous.
Final word, Jack?
Yeah, sorry.
Final word from you, Jack.
Well, I think, well, I mean, this is ridiculous. Rich is banging on about that they shouldn't be allowed back in. Harry can, but Meghan can't. I mean, who are we to decide whether Harry can bring his wife to and from England? It's none of his business or ours.
Well, yes, but it's not, as Richard said, it's not whether they can come and visit the country, is it? It's whether they come back and have any royal role here. If
the king, like we know full well, he is unwell. We know that the Princess of Wales is unwell. Normally, you do actually want your family and friends around you to help and support. Well, if Harry's, I don't know, but Harry might be coming back to say, look, I'm here if you need me. I'm here to support if you need me. Things have happened in the past. Things will happen in the future. We can't decide what the rights and wrongs of what they're going to do. Obviously, we're all on our own path. But allowing them to come back in and if he wants to take on the role and if the king says, please, actually, can you do this for me? Who are we to say that Harry shouldn't?
That won't happen, but essentially at the basis of this, there's trust. And the royal family, with reason, don't trust the Sussexes. I'm afraid that is a situation, and very, very definitely there is no renegotiation of Megxit on offer.
OK, you two. We've got to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed, Jack Stooks and Richard Fitzwilliams.
Yeah. And there's no doubt, actually, the overwhelming opinion of you guys watching at the moment, saying that they wouldn't trust a brother who did that to them. That's their opinion of Harry. But anyway, we really don't know whether they want to come back at all. And you get the feeling that I don't think she'd want to come back.
No,
anyway.
I don't think
she's not interested.
Whereas
he still has family here.
I don't think she'd ever set back foot in this country, to be honest.
I don't think so either.